everybody. Welcome back to the In All Kinds of Weather Forecast, a special episode. Today, Chris Yane's not able to be with us for this, but we've got someone pretty special taking his place alongside me. We are with Tyson Wills, who is Tyson. I think the way to describe you is as a hero because you have served our country for 30 years. And it just so happens that you are coming to the Swamp this Saturday to watch the Gators take on the Arkansas Razorbacks on the day in which the Florida Gators are also honoring the military for the 2023 Gator Good Foundation Game. So Tyson, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you here, and we can't wait to have you in the Swamp on Saturday.
Hey, thank you, Neil. Truly excited to be here. Truly excited to be in the Swamp this Saturday. It's actually going to be pretty awesome. And I just want to say thank you for the things that you guys do at Gator Good. Looking out for us veterans, man. It's pretty awesome. I've never won anything like this before, so I'm pretty stoked and excited and looking forward to being in the Swamp with other veterans and all the fans, and let's not forget the first responders. So, just looking forward to being a part of it.
Of course, man. We're excited for you to be a part of it. I didn't want to give too much information away off the top. I feel like some people also might have gotten familiar with you from the Gator Good Foundation release video, but just for those who may not be familiar with your story, who exactly are you? Why do you love our country so much? All these buzz questions that everybody is going to want to know about you. Just tell us your story. Tyson, the floor is yours.
All right. So my name is Tyson Wills. I'm married to Patrice Wills, and we have four beautiful kids: Faith Wills, Katrina Davis, Tanaya Wills, and Tyson Wills Jr. Back in 1995, I had high hopes of making it to college football and hopefully playing for the Gators, but that wasn't in my path. I have a history of military in my family. My uncle was actually in the Army, and I was, pretty sold on being a Marine. But my mom, they talked me out of it, and we chose to go the Air Force route. So June 29th, 1995, I loaded up and jumped on a plane and went to San Antonio, Texas, to Lackland Air Force Base. And ever since then, we've been a go. I joined the Air Force straight out of Cartersville, Georgia. And by the way, yes, I'm from Georgia, and I'm a diehard Gators fan. I became a Gators fan in like 1989, 1990, and my favorite Gator back then was Eric Red. And I jumped on. I got a tattoo very early of a Gator on my back. And, I was hooked in. I knew I was a Gator for life. And so I get excited talking about it, man, and just having the chance to celebrate with the Gators. So from San Antonio, Texas, in basic training, turned around and I went to Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi and became administrative troop. And that lasted for, went to the Community College of the Air Force. And that's where I worked at, in Montgomery, Alabama. And we were there. I was there for approximately 4 years. Then it was time to separate from my daughter, and I went over to Korea, and I did an assignment in Korea for 365 days. And from there, I went to Hampton, Virginia, and I worked in 10th Intelligence Squadron. And from there, we turned around, and I wasn't a fan of intel, so I went into recruiting. And that's when I really began to truly appreciate what it was to be in the Air Force, because when I re-enlisted, it gave me an opportunity actually to want to give back, to share what I had received. Given a chance to go to school, I was already in college. I was well taken care of, so it just gave me opportunity to want to bring other people into this. And then the friends that I met were for a lifetime, brotherhood. So sacrifice being away from the family. Was a challenge, but then you turn around and you meet new family members wherever you go. And so from there, went through, I did 4 years in Northern Virginia in recruiting. And then my life took a twist. I went to New Orleans and worked there. And just so happened that was the year that Hurricane Katrina hit. So my daughter was down there with me and my fiance at the time, and so I loaded my daughter and my fiance up in the car. I wasn't allowed to leave. I had to stay there because we were supposed to do an inspection, and they kept saying the storm was going to turn, and it didn't turn. So it took me about 12 hours to get out of New Orleans to get to Alabama, and so um, we survived, man. And from there, they sent me to Little Rock Air Force Base to my squadron, and I was there for approximately about 2, 3 weeks, and then they sent me to Jackson, Mississippi as a recruiter, and I worked there for about 6 months, and then turned around and we went back to New Orleans, and we had to reopen. But I wasn't going to bring my daughter back down there to that situation because the schools weren't open. So I had to separate from my daughter again, and she stayed with one of my best friends that I met in the military. He was actually in the army, and man, his family took my daughter in, and instead of sending her all the way back to Georgia, so I could still see her on the weekends and everything. And so from there, we went back to Korea. After 3 more years in New Orleans, we went to Korea again. So it was separate from my daughter again. And then from there, Sumter, South Carolina. South Carolina, that's where I deployed at. Um, and then I was deployed, my grandmother passed, so I came home a little early. And then from there, um, I went to Turkey, and that's where I met my current wife. We were actually in school. She was serving at the time, and we were in school together over in Germany. And she kind of put it out at me really nice, and so we kind of just went that route. And about a year and a half later, we were married, which I told her she was gonna marry me anyway because I was a cute fella. So um, from there, I we just kind of merged it, a joint family, and then we turned around and got stationed in Arizona. So while in Arizona, she got promoted and to master sergeant, and I came up on higher tenure. It was time for me to get out, and so I ended up retiring in 2015 and took off my uniform and for 30 days, and then the next thing you know, I was serving in the squadron in the next office over, and so it still allowed me to keep serving while my wife was serving, and so we just kind of, move forward with that. And then after that, we turned around and we got stationed in Guam, and we went to Guam for 4 years. And so being separated from my daughters again, and it was a challenge, but the sacrifice is well worth it because then after that, we were able to come to Maxwell Air Force Base, and we were there for approximately 2 years, and then she retired and turned around and started serving. She's a civil service employee, and I work for the JAG Corps uh, in the Air Force, and so I'm still serving, and it's just a great opportunity. Um, One of the most beautiful things I tell people is, it's cool with my son when we out there on base, and he already knows, when the national anthem is playing, to stand at position of attention, and we just sit there and we enjoy it. So, serving this country has been a thing. It's given us many blessings, and in the world's greatest air force, you really couldn't ask for anything better, man. So that's really my story, man.
Yeah, I mean that's all awesome. They're definitely had your share of trials and tribulations, just to keep going through it for 30 years. And that's really the part of the story that stuck with me. And I'm not going to speak for the other people on our board, but for me, that was what won me over, the fact that you served for 30 years, because a lot of people who serve the military do so with the best of intentions. They go in there, they want to serve their country. It's all great, it's all legitimate, it's all authentic, but it's a whole other thing to keep that passion, to keep that drive for 30 years.
Yes,
30
sir.
years
Yes,
is a
sir.
long time to serve your country. Most people that I know who are in the military, or were in the military, go in for a tour or two. They serve, 5, 6, 8, 10, sometimes 15, a couple 20 years, but 30 years is a lifetime commitment. So just tell me and tell our listeners more about why it was so important for you first to go into the military in the first place, and then to continue on with it for 3 decades of your life.
Yeah, so really the biggest thing is coming from the family that I come from. We had many trials and tribulations. At the time, my mom was a single parent. She was struggling. And so I just wanted an opportunity to go to college. and to better myself. And like I said, my uncles were in, and it was just something that kind of stood out to me. Then one of my one of my closest friends, he ended up joining the Air Force, and so when he joined, I kind of was like, okay, like I said, I was gung ho. I wanted to be a Marine. Being a football player, you want to be tough, and then so it just kind of dawned on me that I'd go in the Marines. And like I said, my uncle and my mom, they talked me out of it and decided to go the Air Force route because they had special forces in the Air Force. Well, I tried out for that, and that was a whole lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. That was a challenge, but you know what? It wasn't in my path to do that. But the fact that I was able to bring in people, I mean, really enlisting, I enlisted in all based off of the two types of jobs I've done or three types of jobs I've done in recruiting. It was well over 300 people in the Air Force that I put in. And so whether it was, counseling them, bringing them in through MEPS, or actually me going out there, boots on the ground, bringing people in. Um, and, losing friends, and seeing their family and the support that their family got was a great opportunity to serve and just to be there for my friends, and be there for my family. The support that they gave me for my family. Like I said, even when I was away, I was given different opportunities. They would watch my family. You, they kind of encourage you to know that everything is safe while you're gone. And one of the biggest things is you're part of the reason why everything is safe. Like I said, working in Intel, working in the different types of jobs that I've done was, pretty awesome. And now I'm protecting it in the cybersecurity way. So that's my career field that I'm in right now, and it's pretty awesome to know that everything that I do has a direct impact on everybody that's in the Air Force and their families as well. So it's a beautiful opportunity.
And I mean, you're part of a family that's in the military, as you talked about earlier.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I mean, your
Actually,
wife, your daughter. Yeah, go ahead.
yes, my daughter. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, my daughter, she actually did 5 years in the Air Force, and now she works for the State Department in Georgia, and it's been very successful for her, having an opportunity to serve, and then like I said, my wife jumping out of one career field into another, and then her dad, my father-in-law, he did 26 or 28 years in the Army, and so we sit around and we have stories and we just sit and talk about the opportunity that we had, of the background that we came from. Growing up pretty rough, you look for opportunities to kind of advance in life, and it's been a blessing for us, man. And I tell the people all the time, when we go out and about, people will be like, thank you for your service. It's really thank you, for appreciating what we do, because a lot of times when you take off the actual uniform, you begin to feel like you don't really matter anymore. And so when you're dealing with people like such as yourself that actually appreciate it, it makes what we did and what we do a whole lot better. So it's much appreciated.
Oh, I mean, I couldn't do what you do. I don't have it in me to do what you do, especially for 30 years. That's again the part I keep
Yes,
coming
sir.
back to. 30 years is a long time. But I mean, so shifting gears a little bit, just to the reason why we're having this conversation for everyone to hear. You are going to be honored by the Gator Good Foundation by being brought to the swamp. I believed at first it was your first time coming to the swamp. It turns out it's not. We'll talk about that in a
Right.
second. We'll talk about that in a second. But before we do, let's just give a little bit of a transitional topic for everyone. In what does it mean to you that the Florida Gators are first from an aesthetic standpoint wearing black, but more importantly, the meaning behind it? What does all that mean to you as a veteran?
Well, it's awesome. For for Florida to do it, for any school, university, or any professional team, the guys when they take a moment to appreciate what we do, and they honor us. Florida, the Gators are honoring us this weekend as veterans, and it's an amazing thing, and just the opportunity to be there. Oh man, this is amazing. My wife is laughing right now. It's man, it's touched my soul to be a part of this, and we can't be thankful enough as veterans, because when you're in Guam and you're serving, and you're working in the squadron, and as you're at your desk, you put up Gator gear and stuff like that. And then you have friends that walk in and they're Gator fans. And so the opportunity that we always talked about it when we was over there, that we would always want one day that they go into the black jerseys. Well, after leaving Guam, I actually had one personally made. It has my nickname on the back of it, and it's Gator black jersey. And the crazy thing is, the one that they're wearing is a lot similar to the one that I had made. So just knowing that I'm gonna get to wear this black Gator, this jersey in the swamp this weekend is absolutely amazing. I mean, it couldn't be better. Just the me to be there for the the blackout. That's awesome. It's truly awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, there are many reasons why your trip is going to be awesome. Not the least of which is that another reason being one that I just touched on a moment ago. There's a little bit of redemption that's needed on your part in the swamp, but the
Oh
the
yes.
main awesomeness, or I should say the co-main awesomeness, comes from the fact that you were serving the country for so long that you were often in parts of the world that were several time zones away from Gainesville, Florida, or in the
Oh
central
yes.
time
Oh
zone,
yes.
Guam, Turkey, Korea. You were literally everywhere, and you still made it a priority to watch the Gators in most cases. Occasionally you wouldn't be able to, but you would track them and you would just keep tabs on them. How difficult was that? And how did you find the internal strength to manage to do that and then function in your duties serving our country at the same time?
Man, listen, opportunity to get up. So the Gators would come on. I wake up at 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, and I'd watch game day or whatever. And then from that point, I can't do anything. Like everybody knows, you don't schedule anything when the Gators are gone. So if I had to work the weekends, they give us a TV sometimes in there, depending on if you're in the terminal or if you're out and about. You really can't. But other than that, you just wake up at 3:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning, depending on which time zone you're in, from Korea to Guam or whatever, in Turkey. But it's just a drive, and the crazy thing is, you'll sometimes have guys get together. You're up at 3:30 in the morning. Oh, I'm sorry, this message popped up. Please tell me. Okay, sorry about that. But the opportunity to actually, jump in, get together, and cheer your Gators on. And I don't. I'd be hard pressed to find a better Gator fan or more of a Gator fan than me. I don't know many. So whenever and however I could watch, I was gonna watch. I don't. I don't like to miss a game. It's very rarely have I missed a Florida game. And win, lose or draw. In all kinds of weather, I'm there. That's what I do, and I believe in them. I'll follow them to the day I die. That's what I do. Even when I die, I told my wife, put me in my uniform. We have the funeral, but then after that, I want to be cremated and drop, some of my ashes down there at the swamp. That's my dream.
That's the literal definition of a diehard Florida Gator fan. Quite literally a diehard Gator fan. That's awesome. So I mean, Tyson, let's talk a little bit about Florida and Arkansas, the game that you're going to be seeing. First things first, the storyline that I've been teasing, it's not actually your first trip the way I first thought it was, but it turns out this is actually even better than if it was your first trip, because your first trip was one that I think you would like to forget, but I'm going to make you not forget it and tell everyone exactly what happened. So the first time you came to the swamp, you know what, I'll just let you tell it from scratch. What happened the first time you came to a Gator
Okay.
swamp?
So we had just got back from Guam, and we had to ship our we shipped our car, and we shipped it to Georgia, and I had to go pick it up. I was stationed down in Montgomery, Alabama, and so I had to go pick it up. Well, my nephew was playing a football game down in Bainbridge, Georgia, and so I made plans. I said, you know what, if I'm gonna be in that area, I'm driving down. And so I said, let's do it. So I actually went and got my car. And what's crazy is the car was it wouldn't go over 60 miles per hour. I don't know if it was the gas bad or whatever they had put in, coming across seas or whatever, but it wouldn't go over 60 miles per hour. And so that was already started rough. But I drove down to Bainbridge after his football game. I turned around and drove into Gainesville and got to the hotel, got a little rest, got up and was out and about ready for the game. And so it was an interesting day. But I didn't do tailgating or anything like that. Hadn't had that opportunity yet. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
What year was this?
But
Just so everyone knows, what year was this?
this was 2020. This was
And the
2020.
opponent was?
And LSU, Louisiana State University. We'll keep it PG. So yes, so I've been to watch the Gators play in LSU, and we lost. And the guy, one of the doctors that I put in the Air Force, he gave me a flag, and he signed it with the score and everything. And so I was looking forward to going to the game in the swamp, beating LSU. This is that time. So we have the game. The game, we get there. They say Kyle Pitts isn't playing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is wrong? He's better. I don't know what's going on, but long story short, Dan Mullen held him out. That was already a change in the way the game was going. So from there, we played a game, a game that went back and forth, ups and downs. It was the foggiest game that I've never seen anything like it. The fog was so thick in the swamp that day, and this is my first time in the swamp. It looks like a swamp. I'm like, okay, we're gonna pull out a game in this murky weather and whatnot, and so I was like, man, let's go. Well, that is the game of the shoe toss. That is the game that broke my heart because, um, as everyone knows, we didn't pull it out. Well, I was so hurt and I just went to the hotel, jumped in my car, checked out of my hotel early, and drove. It's about 6 hours and 13 minutes, I think, to be exact, to Wetumpka, Alabama. In a car that won't go 60 miles per hour. I drove after the game. I think the game ended. I got left the hotel about 11:15, and just drove through the night. And that's how pumped I was and angry that my first chance to come to the swamp was actually the shoe toss game. So that we have to write this weekend.
That's right. That's right. You got to get a dub.
Yes,
You got to get some redemption. So let's talk about that a little bit. Gators obviously coming off a not great performance, obviously not as low of a low as the shoe throw game, but still nonetheless a game that I think humbled Gator fans a bit and gave them a reality check and told them, no, you're not quite back with the college football elite yet. And I don't think that this game is necessarily going to be one that can put them there. Arkansas is 2-6 after all, but it is a chance for the Gators to win a game in the SEC. That's something that is not easy to do, period. Arkansas is going to be fighting hard for their coach, trying to make a bowl game. Lot of storylines within the game itself, but tell me what you're looking to see from the Florida Gators when they take the field against Arkansas specifically. What are you hoping to see from this Florida team?
Well, based off of a lot of the tracking and a lot of the Twitter, I'm thinking that a couple of important recruits may be there this weekend. So I want to see them air the ball out. I want to see them. I'm a Graham Mertz fan. I'm ready to see him do what he does. I really think he is a complete quarterback, and I'm looking forward to watching him spread the ball out. Eugene, I want to see him, Trey, I want to see Trey take off. I want to see him, I want to see him spread the ball around. But ETN, we always want to see him tote the rock. So, and Johnson too. I'm just looking forward to the offense. But, everybody knows defense wins championships, and I want to see us right that wrong. Right now, a lot of people have been down on the defense, and being on Twitter and everything like that. You see guys going back and forth with the players. That's one thing that I would never do, is go back and forth. Well, and it's kind of like me abusing somebody that's in the army as a veteran or whatever. You know, we turn on our own. We can't do that. So I'm looking forward to the guys coming out, getting back on a winning track. I watched the show that you guys had talked about earlier, and so we're looking forward to actually getting bowl eligible. And then hopefully, once we get that bowl, DJ comes in and he's actually in there to get practice and he grow with the team and they build that camaraderie. And if Birch comes back, them two learn together and we start putting a track record and carry on with what we put in the league last year with Anthony at quarterback. Graham should get. I think he has a great chance of getting drafted. So really, just this weekend is getting us back on track, getting the defense out there. I want to see Jason Marshall fly around. I want to see him. I need him to get a couple of picks. I want Jason Marshall to get a couple of picks so he can, get back on track. People have been down on him or whatnot, but they didn't really give him the props of the block passes that he did the other day. You know, the Georgia, we'll keep it PG. Georgia, they're stacked on all positions or whatnot. So they're supposed to be that. So I need the Gator fans to realize, yes, we took that loss, but against, the two-time national champion. So don't get down on them. Let's keep our heads up. Let's go ahead and do this thing the right way and get back on the winning track. And, we'll take this win. And, especially in the black jerseys, it's gonna be amazing. Come noon tomorrow, and we're gonna get this thing right.
Well, that's the hope. The Gators are a 6-point favorite. The Gators are projected to win both by our in all kinds of weather forecaster that Dustin puts out and the ESPN FPI model. All signs are pointing to this being a game that Florida should win. But aside from hopefully seeing the Gators get the dub, Tyson, there's going to be a lot of stuff happening for you on Saturday. And I just want to know, what exactly are you looking forward to the most? Because it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be fun.
The Gator walk. That I got a chance to meet Ben Trooper with through you guys, man, and I almost lost my mind. I mean, the surprise of when y'all, he announced it or whatnot, it sent me through the roof. But the chance, so when as a retirement gift, and well, all of my retirement gifts from the Air Force were Gator paraphernalia. I had a flag flown over the swamp. I had a helmet signed by every player that year. But for opportunity to actually to be out there for the Gator Walk and actually see the players up close, that right there, and then the tailgate and hopefully running the Silk or somebody like that, But then I'm looking forward to meeting you, shaking your hand, and letting you meet my family. It's my wife and me and my son. We're traveling down, and it's about an 8-hour and 20-minute drive. But we're coming. We're excited. We're looking forward to being, a part of what the Gator Good really is about. And this is really what it's about, taking care of us and making sure we feel like we're part of the team as a veteran. So we truly appreciate it.
Of course, man. We're the ones who are appreciative of what you've done for our country and for all of us, keeping us safe by sacrificing 30 years to make sure that our country is the best it can be. So we really appreciate that. Tyson, last thing, the Gators are 4-0 when the Gator Good Foundation brings someone to the swamp. We beat South Carolina in 2018. We beat Vanderbilt in 2019. We blew out Tennessee in 2021, and we beat Missouri last year. So time for you to make your prediction. Does that record become 5-0? Do the Gators beat Arkansas? And what is your score projection?
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. We do pull it out this weekend. And we get to, do the Gator chomp in the black jersey. But my score prediction, I say we win 34-17. That's what I'm going with. I get to see Trey Smack put a couple through the uprights, and but we're gonna see that ball fly around this weekend. we're going to spread that ball around, and that defense is going to be flying around. Big Jackson, them, they're ready to eat. So we're going to do some chopping this weekend.
Well, it is redemption day for the Gators. It's redemption day for you after your first trip to the swamp didn't end so great. We're going to make sure this is a great weekend for you, and the Gators, I'm sure, are going to do their part as well. Tyson, I mean, thank you doesn't really do it justice, man. Like, again, I'm not cut from the same cloth as you. I couldn't do what you do. Still do. I say present tense because you still are, working for our country right now. So thank you so much. And we will make sure to give you a proper thank you on Saturday. So get ready because it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a day you will never forget.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I look forward to it. This is, I wish I could, my emotions all over the place, man. I truly, 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 truly appreciate you guys and this great, awesome opportunity. I'm looking forward to that long day Saturday. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys, tomorrow. It's just an amazing weekend, and I truly want to say thank you to the Gator Good and everything that you guys do, and just a small token of what we try to provide, the safeties that we provide. So, and I like to say before we go, pray for our troops that's out there right now. Pray for the country, and it's a turmoil going on right now. So we'll see how everything turns out. But it's great to be a Florida Gator, but it's also great to be an American. So, let's just be thankful.
I agree. Could not agree with you more on both of those points. It's great to be a Florida Gator, and it's great to be an American. Tyson, we will give you a proper thank you on Saturday. Until then, y'all, go Gators in all kinds of weather. And hey, we'll see you in the swamp, Tyson, and Gator Nation. If you want to come out and support Tyson and say thank you as well, you can go to GatorGoodFoundation.com. Click on the donate button to help us fund not only this campaign. This campaign is pretty much taken care of, but future campaigns. We do this every year. We have since 2018. So helping us get a jump start on 2024 and beyond would always be appreciated. And if you'd like to thank Tyson personally, you can come out to the swamp. He'll be in section 10. He'll be hanging around after the game. He'll be the guy with the biggest smile on his face in the city of Gainesville. So Tyson, again, man, thank you so much for all that you've done for our country. And I will be seeing you in about 24 hours.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
You got it.